What's going on, guys? The Comics Kid 2099 here. Welcome to day 19 of the 365-day graphic novel review challenge. Yesterday, I talked about Frey, which was a book about a girl who fights monsters. Today, I want to talk about another book about a girl who fights monsters. Monstress. This is the first 6 issues of the ongoing series Monstress by Marjorie Liu and Sana Takeda. I don't know if I'm pronouncing those names right at all. This is a very complex and complicated series. In a lot of ways, it kind of reminds me of Star Wars. If you go into Star Wars A New Hope and you know absolutely nothing about the world of Star Wars, it's going to take a little bit of getting used to. You've got all these different factions. You've got the Rebellion, you've got the Empire, you've got mentions of the Jedi Knights, specifically Obi-Wan Kenobi. You've got mentions of independent people like Jabba the Hutt and Han Solo, and all these people, they represent their own interests and other interests in this world, and it takes a little bit of time to get used to that world and really understand this world and how it operates and how everyone functions in this world. But in A New Hope, after about 20 minutes, you pretty much understand, okay, these are the good guys, these are the bad guys, and then you move on with the story. With Monstress, it feels kind of like that, but a lot more complex and a lot more complicated. It feels even more difficult to understand than A New Hope. You've got all these different names of these organizations and these different groups of people in this book, and it throws all of them at you, and it's really difficult, for me anyway, it was really difficult to keep up with, okay, these guys are kind of sort of good guys, these guys are sort of bad guys, but they're not completely 100% evil, and I think that might have been another reason why this was a little bit complicated, because very few people in this book are pure evil or pure good. There's nobody in this book that I would describe as being 100% heroic. Pretty much everyone here who is protagonistic, if you will, they have shades of gray. Now, there are people here who are pretty much just downright evil, but there's no one here who I would say is just a good guy. There's really bad guys, and then there's people who are less bad guys. But you've got all these different organizations like the Kumeya and the Arcanics and the Daughters of Eden and the Dusk of Court, or the Court of Dusk and the Court of Dawn, and then you've got cats with multiple tails, and they represent their own faction. You've got all these different organizations and these groups of people, and it's really difficult for me to keep up with all that, especially when you don't exactly have a point of entry character for everyone else to give exposition to. You look at, like, the first issue of the X-Men, and Jean Grey was your point of entry character. She knew nothing about Magneto and the Brotherhood of Mutants and Charles Xavier and the X-Men, so she was your excuse to give all of this exposition to the audience. And you don't have a character like this in this book, so they don't give you a lot of exposition. Sorry, I can't speak. They give you a little bit, but not enough to help you really grasp and understand this world. So this is a book I would almost say you would really benefit if you read it through twice. Read it through once, and it may take you a little bit of time to get through it because it is pretty dense in places, but read it through once, and then read it again. I think you would probably enjoy it a lot more if you read it a second time. But it is very dense, at times very confusing because there's a lot to keep up with, but this is a world that I feel like Liu and Takeda, I feel like they are in it for the long haul. I don't think that this is just going to be a 8-issue or 12-issue world and then they're done. I think they're going to be investing a lot of time and energy into this world. They've already, in just 6 issues, invested a lot of time and energy in this world. So I really think this is a series that, if you reread it a couple of times, at least this volume, you will enjoy it more and more the more that you're able to say, okay, I remember now, this is the Court of Dusk or whatever. And once you can kind of categorize all these different things from this world in your head, it will be easier for you to understand this book and enjoy this book. So those are my thoughts on Monstress Volume 1. I hope that you guys liked this review. If you did, be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I will be back with another video tomorrow in my 365-day graphic novel review challenge. So be sure to check that out, and I'll be doing other videos throughout the rest of this year. So check those out as well. In the meantime, you guys have a great rest of the day. Catch you later.